World speed record. Train reaches 126 miles an hour. Sir Nigel Gresley's Mallard. Fastest route to Scotland. Oh, fancy that.
You'll be late for work if you don't get along now.
What's this then? Dear Michael, having a lovely time. Wish you were here. Do come and join us. Yours, Harold. P.S. Don't forget your irons. Well, there's a thing. St Andrews, home of the Royal and Ancient Game.
Well done. Well done, Michael, old boy. Well played.
Well done, Michael.
Oh, well played, old boy.
The non-stop train to Edinburgh will leave from platform 5. Passengers for Dundee and Aberdeen travel in front of the train.
Perhaps it's because they know we'll have time to stand and stare while we wait for their train. But the railways have never been able to resist the opportunity to tell us something or sell us something. Victorian printers' letterpresses churned out densely printed type by the billful. Perhaps because nobody read them, or possibly because new colour printing techniques were developed, the Edwardians preferred the pictorial poster, such as John Hassell's Jolly Fisherman from Skegness. Bracing is not so desirable now, but the Jolly Fisherman's bracing image became well established and can still be seen today. But the art of the railway poster didn't really come into its own until the 4 railway groups were created from 100 or more smaller companies after the First World War. They followed the example of the London Underground and commissioned artists to promote their new regions and sell the idea of holidays for all. The railways were the airlines of the travel trade in the 20s and 30s. And for the majority, the British seaside resorts were the Costas and Rivieras. Sun and sand, piers and pleasure gardens were just a train ride away.
Competition between the companies was fierce. The London and North Eastern Railway took people to the East Coast resorts on the drier side of Britain. And the LNER certainly had the edge when it came to posters. In summer, the hoardings displayed Clacton and Cleethorpes, Skegness and Scarborough in modernist graphic styles which would not have been out of place in an art gallery. As advertising became more organised during the 1920s, with agencies developing a role and corporations expanding, the London and North Eastern Railway was in the vanguard of the art of travel. And it wasn't just the seaside that had to be sold. The LNER had other services to sell and a different geography to promote. And so images of industrial realism flowed from the rivers and ports of the East Coast.
Two-thirds of the LNER's income was from freight services. More than a third of Britain's coal was hauled by the LNER. This contribution to the nation's industry had been hidden from the majority of people who used only the passenger services. Pictures of docks and harbours, steamships and goods traffic all helped to show the part the LNER played in the life of the nation.
But above all, the image of the LNER was about the glamour of fast trains.
The mainstay of the London and North Eastern was its 400-mile East Coast route to Scotland. Record-breaking services such as the Flying Scotsman and the Coronation were made possible by locomotives designed by the chief mechanical engineer, Sir Nigel Gresley. Their streamlined Art Deco image contributed to the modernist messages of the posters, that the LNER was a progressive company, that it was getting there in style. Sir Nigel Gresley's A4 Pacifics left King's Cross pulling not only dining cars and buffet cars, but lounge cars and cocktail bars, hairdressing salons and cinema cars. And of course, cars. With prestigious services like these to promote, the LNER's advertising managers commissioned young and experimental poster artists to portray the delights of travel by train in a way that would appeal to an affluent and sophisticated clientele. And so, for a period of 15 years, the LNER became one of the leading patrons of modern art. Cubism, Surrealism, Vorticism. Many of the poster artists were influenced by the new continental art movements and put their ideas to work for the railways. Oh, yes, the railways had their impact on modernism. But for the masses, mostly, it was holidayism, courtesy of the Scarborough Flyer and Whitley Bay Special.
Tom Purvis was a specialist poster artist who became well known for his experiments with large areas of vivid colours which were well suited to the simplified patterns of the poster. As a poster, the picture told its story at the merest glance. These unconventional advertisements were particularly effective when put together as a series, making use of the fact that the picture was a poster for display on a hoarding, in a street or on a station wall.
Modernism mingled with popular images of the time to make the railway poster a very democratic art form.
The LNER soon achieved a reputation for employing the most progressive artists and displaying the most exciting images. How many more tickets they sold will never be known, but they were so confident in their poster artists they even made fun of the other railway companies, who failed to keep up with them. In 1928, the Southern published this rather twee poster of a little boy looking up to an engine driver. In 1932, the LNER published this striking pastiche, with apologies to the Southern, but more than a nod towards Cubism.
Ah, Harrogate. 198.5 miles from King's Cross via Holbeck, journey time 5 hours 59 minutes. Spa town pulsating with the brightness and sparkle of life. Hydro Hotel facing south near Wells, Bath, very modern terms, telegrams, elegance. Harrogate. Ah, there's Harry Gawthorne. Some artists could never resist the temptation to put people they knew in the picture. And H.G. Gawthorne's posters were never complete without himself appearing in there somewhere. Look out for the old man in the blazer with a Panama hat. The resorts collaborated in joint advertising schemes with the railway company, paying half the costs of the poster. Each resort had to decide whether its image was select or popular, and some could never decide. Whitby knew its place as an historic fishing port, but Scarborough just knew it was Hollywood. If you see what I mean. The golden age of the posters of the LNER came to an end with the beginning of the Second World War. The message was reversed. Travel was discouraged. The company lived on with the other three groups until nationalisation in 1947. But it never re-established the vigour of its pre-war publicity. The eastern and northeastern regions of British Railways took up some of the themes in their posters. But that's another story. Thanks to the altruistic management in a railway company 60 years ago, we now have not only a record of artistic experiment, but pictures which, having spent their commercial message, are a social record of a passing moment. Ah, Michael, there you are. Where have you been? Got your clubs? Good. Let me show you the course, put you in the picture.
Thanks, Harry.